Hi, I'm Nathan Zampronio, one of your independent councillors on Hawkesbury City Council, and you might recognise a very famous set of doors behind me. Well, may we say, God save the Queen. Something, something, something. Most years, I come down here to Canberra to attend the National Government Assembly of Councils from all over Australia. And here I am at Old Parliament House, now the Museum of Australian Democracy, where I am delighted to see lots of school children learning about their democracy. It's a great opportunity to meet with colleagues, compare notes and share ideas. And again, I'm struck at how many of the issues that some people regard as contentious do not need to be decided along ideological lines. Look at these electric vehicles. They're now mainstream. Even council's heavier fleet could be transitioned to electric power over the coming years, and over the long term this would not be a cost to council, but would be a saving to our bottom line. I was present for the launch of Australia's Local Government Adapting Together report that confirms that Australian councils are expected to spend more than $2 billion over the next 5 years to future-proof our communities against the changing climate. That's not a virtue signalling boondoggle. Climate-resilient investments by councils are expected to provide up to $4.7 billion of benefits, such as avoided costs, to communities by 2030. I rather suspect that Hawkesbury, which has its fair share, more than its fair share of bushfires and floods and so forth, will get a greater proportion of that kind of benefit. And that means that for every dollar we spend, we actually get up to $3 worth of benefit of avoided costs by building in some resilience strategies. This year's conference was notable for the emphasis placed on the societal costs of poor mental health. I heard from some rural colleagues whose communities were spending up to 17% of their revenue annually just to retain doctors and specialists in their communities. But as always, the issue that I like to press the most is that of the broken model of funding that all local governments are funded under. We have never had the ability to raise the funds that are equal to the responsibilities that we have. For example, councils raise 4% of all taxation revenue raised across Australia, and yet we are responsible for 75% of roads. That's a network of over 650,000 kilometres. At the convention, I was the one, ironically, who got to be able to put this question to the Federal Minister for Local Government, Kristy McBain.
Hello, Nathan Zampronio from Hawkesbury City Council. I want to address the elephant in the room, if I may. I've come to these gatherings for nearly 9 years, and every single year we have to talk about vertical fiscal imbalance. The statistics are well known to you. We as councils only take in 4% of all taxation revenue in Australia, and yet we are responsible for a third of all the capital built into Australia, roads, parks, libraries, etc. Why is it so difficult to address this issue? Federal assistance grants have gone from 1% of all federal taxation revenue to approximately half that now. I argue with my federal member. She says, no, but that money comes to you in a number of other guises, black spots programs, local roads and community infrastructure. And then I say, but that's tide funding, and in aggregate, we're still well below where we were decades ago. You have hundreds of ambassadors that would sing your government's praises if you could restore funding to 1% of the federal taxation revenue. Why is it so difficult?
The reason that I'm here at Old Parliament House is to point out that when this place was our federal parliament, the amount of money that the federal government gave local councils was double, more than double, what it is now. I thought that the response that I got from the ministers was woolly and patronising. I will continue to advocate for Hawkesbury and all councils to get the funding that they deserve to build good communities. Thanks for watching.